This bottle absolutely sucks. I bought it. We hate it. What do we do now?
If you're new here, I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thanks for joining in. Today we're talking about 5 things to do with bottles you hate. And I legitimately hate this bottle. It's not good. Now, we've had Ancient Age 90 before. We had a bottle before this, and we actually really enjoyed that one. And then I went out and got this one for $25 at our local store. I know in some markets the 90 proofer is not available in every market, but it is in our market pretty readily. Went out and got this for $25 and sampled it out and did a blind with a bunch of people, expecting this to crush Blanton's and the other things.
Based on the last Ancient Age we had.
Right. And this one sucks. It actually tastes very bad, and this happens from time to time.
Yeah,
so
it does.
What do we as whiskey enthusiasts do when we buy bottles that we don't enjoy? So we think there's 5 very specific things you can do.
Yep.
And we're going to work our way through it as well as do a tasting here. And we're going to try this again and see if our opinions have changed.
Yes.
Because we did just taste it that one time in that blind, and it was not good. It was actually very bad, very sour, very off-putting, very sharp.
Yep. And this leads to the first point we want to make.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get a bottle that you don't like, you objectively dislike,
It might be you.
try it again on another day.
Because your palate is different on different days.
Yeah.
How you feel, your mood, what you've eaten. There can be a lot of factors that go into it. How much air is in the bottle over time.
Yeah.
Some people say that doesn't affect things. We've kind of tested that ourselves, and we do believe it does, but you can believe what you want.
Yep.
But try it again on a different day, and try something before you try it with that you're very well acquainted with, I should say. We call it a control pour.
Yeah.
So that's what we have in front of us here.
Let's do that.
In this glass here on our right, your left, we have regular old Buffalo Trace, coincidentally made by the same company, Ancient Age and Buffalo Trace, by the Buffalo Trace and Sazerac companies. Buffalo Trace is 90 proof, Ancient Age is 90 proof. We always recommend your control pour be kind of at the same proof
Similar,
point or less than what you're tasting to see if you like it or not. But we know Buffalo Trace obviously very well. Been through many bottles of this, and it's pretty readily available in our market. So we know it should taste fairly good, middle of the road. Let's try it and see. Smells like Buffalo Trace, if I had to guess.
Tastes like whiskey. It's good. It's fine.
That tastes exactly like Buffalo Trace always tastes to me.
Yeah.
We often use Buffalo Trace as a warm-up pour or a control pour to get our palates ready for other whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's also, you know, Buffalo Trace is a known profile for a lot of people, and we figure it's a good midpoint to start from. If we're going to give something a thumbs up, it should at least be better than Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
That's where we kind of land with that. But that's the first thing we say to do is have your control pour, try it again on a different day, because we've had whiskeys we've tried on one day and then tried them again on a different day, and it's been a totally different experience.
And full disclosure, there has been some time since we've tried this on that blind.
It's been months.
Or on that sample thing, and then now. So we haven't had this in months. So let's see how it fares.
Obviously on a $25 handle, you know, plastic handle, stakes are pretty low. This is especially important on much better bottles because maybe you try it.
Or more expensive bottles.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you don't like it, it's not better.
True. That's a good point. But yeah, much more expensive bottles. Definitely give yourself a few times of trying it on different days to see if things change for you.
Before you cut it off.
Over a period of time, before you make a full-blown judgment. And that's where a control pour can really help, as Erin kind of smells this. That's where a control pour really helps. We'll spend more time on this point than any other. But the control pour helps because if Buffalo Trace tastes like it always tastes to me, I can go into now tasting this knowing that my palate is acting the way it's normally supposed to act. If I taste Buffalo Trace and it tastes sour or sharp, I know my palate's a little bit off, and I probably don't need to be judging this whiskey too harshly.
So to me, this tastes and smells a little earthy. It doesn't taste sour to me, though. I don't get sour.
There's a weird, and this is a wild note for a Buffalo Trace Sazerac company product, but there's a weird, to me, like mildewy peanut shell type of note on this that was on it months ago, and it's still there on the nose.
So I didn't get that, but when you said it, I can see how someone could get that.
It's all I can get. Like most of the time, this stuff, or at least our last bottle, really smelled and tasted very like apple-y, like sweet apple-y and caramel and just beautiful, like for the 90 proof point, it smelled great and tasted great. This does not smell great. It smells wrong.
Let's try it
off.
because this is just 0.1 of 5.
Okay.
So it doesn't taste bad to me. I don't remember what it tasted like to me before. Like, I don't love it, but I also don't hate it.
It has gotten better. Like that strong mildewy peanut shell note that I got on the nose was all over the palate when we first opened it. That has calmed down a little bit, and it is a little bit more just that profile that I expect, kind of like a sweet caramel apple.
See, I'm getting more earthiness, like almost kind of like dirt, but in a not a bad way.
To me, this is like a Granny Smith caramel apple. That's the vibe that I get from it. There's like a tart sweetness in there that is generally enjoyable. I'm going to take a second sip because this is coming through a little ethanol-y, a little thin, which is to be expected for a kind of a bottom shelf product.
Yeah. So, again, point number 1, retry your bottles that you don't like. If you've only given them one chance, give them a couple. I'd say maybe like 3 before you objectively say you don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, this is lackluster, kind of thin, kind of ethanol.
It's a 90 proof $25 handle. Like, we don't... Expectations are not super high with this, for me anyway.
Fair, but our last bottle of this beat Blanton's
Correct.
and Blinds for a lot of people.
And I think that's where the bar was set with this one. So, in general, we're not going to expect a $25 bottle to be exceptional, except the fact that the last one we had of this was.
Right.
So that's what we're comparing this against, and that's why we dislike this, is because, not because it's not, doesn't stand up to what we think just a general $25 bottle tastes like, it doesn't stand up to what our last bottle of this product tasted like.
So, is this still terrible? I don't know if I'd say terrible. It was legitimately terrible before, and it smells terrible tonight, but
I don't think it smells terrible.
It tastes just generally not like something I'm going to pick up and drink.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm probably not going to bother drinking this.
That's fair.
Almost ever. So now what do we do?
So what else do we do?
We got 4 more ideas here.
Okay.
So I think first up, what you can do is you can share it and sample it out to let other people try it. Whether you're in a local community where you can take it to a bottle share and let some people try it that maybe haven't tried it before. Maybe you find somebody that really enjoys it and you can send the bottle home with them and make their day.
Yeah,
we always recommend that.
Different people like different things. They have different palates. So, it might not be for you, but that doesn't mean it's objectively disgusting. It's just not to your taste profile, so someone else might like it. Yeah.
Or if you're a member of like an online community, like our Discord that you can access through our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/stuffandwhiskey. Get plugged into our Discord tier for $5. People are sharing samples. Maybe you send some samples out, see if some people like it or not. Maybe you trade those samples for some things you haven't tried, and it's a win-win on both accounts. It's a fun way to try whiskey without having to do all the buying. You don't have to buy 50 bottles. You could share a bunch of samples of this and try a bunch of different things. So
it's another option.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you are not going to share it, though, you can always mix it. That would be the third thing.
Could use it as a mixer, yeah.
Make cocktails or just use it as the way this tastes, perfect game day mixer. Throw it in some ginger ale or something like that, or some Coca-Cola or some sweet tea. Any of those would be serviceable.
This kind of has some sweet tea vibes to me.
If it's not good mixed like that, it's like a straight up mixer, then, cocktails, give it a shot there. Yeah. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
It's worth a try.
If it doesn't work for mixing, cooking with bourbon
or baking
is awesome.
Yeah.
Cooking or baking, yes. We love to use it in a baking application just because of the flavor profile. I remember there was this bourbon apple crisp, and I'll actually find this recipe and put it in the video description below. We don't have a Traeger, but I found on the Traeger website a recipe for a smoked bourbon apple crisp that you make in a cast iron pan. Skillet, that's what they're called. And we have a cast iron skillet that I love cooking in.
We have a smoker.
And so we made this, and we used a bottle that was heinous. It was Old Bardstown Estate, 101 proof from Willett. I just don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
And we put that in the bourbon apple crisp, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because you're reducing it down to just kind of like the general caramelly bourbon flavor when you're cooking with it. and it worked out amazing. And I
That's
said,
good.
you know what? If that bottle that was that bad can be that good in a bourbon apple crisp, what can that bourbon apple crisp be like?
The purple apple crisp? The purple people eater?
What could it be like with good bourbon in it? So we got to make it again with that.
Okay. I mean,
Like a better bourbon.
you got to make it again. I'm not making it.
Yeah, I know. It is a little labor intensive, but it's worth it. Trust me.
It's good.
Get
It
you
is
some
good.
vanilla ice cream. Oh, some Bluebell homemade vanilla
Okay.
to scoop on
All
top
right,
of there,
son,
a la
let's-
mode style.
let's keep it rolling.
Thank me later. And then, what's the last thing? If you do all that and it's not working out for
And
you,
you still don't like it?
What do you
This
think?
is a hot take. Don't come for us in the comments, but you can drain pour it.
just right down the
Because
drain.
essentially,
Get rid of it at that point.
if you've paid money for it and you're not going to drink it and it's just going to sit on your shelf, you're essentially drain pouring it without freeing up the space.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm going to have an addendum to this. You could keep it on your shelf
And serve it to your relatives
and
that you don't like on Thanksgiving.
And
oh, sorry.
share it with, this goes along with sharing. And
I'm talking about sharing.
And sharing with people who come over who do like it. But that's kind of like a 2B. But yeah, if there's something that you objectively, you don't even like it enough to like try to give it away to people, you can drain pour it. Like, it's what's that? Is it like the lost? There's a sunk cost fallacy.
Something,
Yeah, don't fall victim to that. You've already spent the money, so you've already drain poured your money. Unless you're going to get that money back, you've already drain poured it. So you might as well just actually drain pour it.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't come at us.
And maybe when you have a smaller collection of bottles or selection of bottles, maybe this is less of an issue.
Yeah.
Once you've been in the game for a while and you start to amass a bunch of bottles, and you have bottles that are sitting around that you're just not going to try and you don't feel like sampling them out and you don't cook or you're not going to bother with it and you don't really do cocktails and you don't like it, give yourself permission to just free the space up, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Be done with it. Move on with your life. You don't need the negative. I don't need this negative reminder in the cabinet.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And this is only $25. Like if this had been a $250 bottle that I didn't like, I would get my feelings hurt every time I looked at it.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Thanks, Knob Creek 18. Like there are bottles that just disappoint you.
Yeah.
And that's part of it because taste is so subjective. Everybody's going to taste something different.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is watch content like this, a bunch of other whiskey tube channels. Try to get to know people's palates and know what they like so that you can kind of find who you align with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can at least have a good idea of whether or not they like something, if you would like it, you know, that's helpful. But even that's not a guarantee. That's just educated buying. The other thing I'll say is this is why we love single barrels so much because this is a batch product. There should be consistency here. And our last bottle to this bottle was a drastic fall off in quality. We've had the same thing happen with Wild Turkey 101. We've had the same thing happen with Old Forester 1920.
Which are all batch products.
All batch products. When you're buying a single barrel of whiskey, which is what we do over on Patreon as well, patreon.com/stuffandwhiskey, and our barrel pick program, our barrel pick club, we go out and we select barrels from distilleries and we're getting that one barrel and it only yields 100, 150, maybe 200 bottles if it's a high yield. But the flavors in that one barrel are not going to change. They're going to be what they are. And we get on there on Patreon and I communicate with you what you can expect out of that barrel pick. And that way, you know, that is the most safest money that you can possibly spend. Because if I'm saying something that sounds like something you would like, then that is a perfect purchase for you.
Well, and if you're not familiar with single barrels, the flavor of all the bottles that come from that single barrel does stay consistent, but each barrel will taste different.
Yes. And quickly, before I go off on that point, I want to say we're not on there just trying to sell bottles. Like I talk people out of buying bottles if I know their palates don't align with it as well. So that is a very important note. We want you to, the barrels that we pick, we want you to know what to expect so you can purchase those with confidence or avoid the purchase. Either one of those is a win to us.
Well, let's bring it back around to your fine palates you align with, whether it's ours, another YouTuber, a friend of yours, and like a local liquor store. They do barrel picks a lot. A lot of them around the country.
In a lot of markets,
In a lot of markets. So if you know the palate of the people picking any barrel, you can judge that against, they like dark, rich flavors. I like dark, rich flavors. There's a high probability I'm going to like the single barrel.
Right.
Or they like dark, rich flavors and I hate dark, rich flavors. Maybe I won't buy their single barrel. So that's just a good barometer. Find palates that you align with, and know the palates you don't align with. And so that way you can kind of know what to get and what not to get.
Yeah, I think that says it very well.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to end it on.
Yeah.
We've summed up our 5 points.
Comment down below. Let us know some bottles that you bought that sucked and that you don't like. And let us know why maybe you didn't like them. And especially let us know if you tried something that you hated originally and then you went back to it and revisited it and you actually really started enjoying it.
That'd be interesting.
We do get comments like that for real. We
Yeah.
get it pretty often. Somebody's like, I tried this and hated it at first. I left it alone for a few weeks. I came back to it. It's actually one of my favorite bottles now.
Yeah.
So it's always cool to see that.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be good to each other. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.